Welcome to What's Your Story, where we, Jamie Marco,
and Stan Brown,
delve into the extraordinary lives of everyday people.
Listen in as we uncover the unique tales that shape who we are,
one story at a time.
Hey, let's get ready to explore today's story.
Let's do it.
Lee.
Hello, Dodd.
We're back, huh?
We are back.
Love it. Love it.
I know. I mean, it's always fun having conversations with you because I feel like every time I learn something new.
That's very complimentary. Thank you.
Welcome. Is that why I'm your favorite?
We can talk about this offline.
So today, let's talk about our guest. So again, this guest I actually met totally randomly. We have nothing in common, total random, except for that we drive the same same make of a car, not the model. I don't even know what model she drives, but same make. We were sitting in the maintenance waiting area, getting my car serviced, and there was something about her that I just said, you know what, I got to engage. Well, that is most people with me. I do engage with a lot of different people.
I've seen you do that.
Yeah.
That's correct.
But so we just started chatting, and I found her to be incredibly fascinating, and I would love for you to meet her. I would love to learn more about her. So how about we just like shorten up our little shtick and bring her on in?
You think I'll find her equally fascinating?
I think you're going to be amazed. I think it's going to be pretty incredible.
Well, let's go.
All right, let's do it, audience. We are going to welcome in.
She's still in the service area?
What? No, but we could sing a song to let her on, right? Come on, Eileen. Oh, you know that song?
Put the words on the line for me.
You know that song? Come on, Eileen.
I do.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to sneeze in a second, but let's let her in. All right, listener, here we go. We're letting her in. We're letting our guest in. Super stoked for this to happen. Woohoo!
Oh, I see her. Hello.
Hi. We are recording. We are live and recording. So I was just explaining to my dad how we met. We are Volvo-service-center.
Yeah.
I love it. And I'm so grateful that you agreed to some crazy lady in the maintenance area asking you to be on their podcast, that you said yes. So good to see you again. Thank you for being here.
Plus, that bedding looks very comfortable.
Oh, thank you. This is my office.
Listener, if you cannot see, I believe is that your bedroom that you're calling us from?
No, this is my office. I just have a bed in here.
Oh, even better. So when you're working a lot, it's like I need to lay down and just chill. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. So we start off every episode asking the same question just to get a feel for our audience and for our guest. Today, Eileen, what is your number on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being it is the day you should not have gotten out of that bed and you should not be peopling.
She's
I've made the diverse.
Not a 1, she's out of
You
bed.
never know. To a 10 being it is the best day you've ever lived and you don't have a worry in the world. What's your number right now?
Interesting.
I would say I would give it like a 7. I don't got classes this week, so I'm just at home working the entire week, which is always nice, you know?
Cool. And we'll talk about classes in a minute. So what would it take for you to go from a 7 to a 7.25?
Getting an email back from my professor for crit.
Oh, for what? For what is it?
For crit, which is short for like critique. So it's just getting feedback on how I'm doing.
Oh, got it. Is this on like a certain project or is this just in general as a student?
I would say in general as a student, that wait for like getting that email back from the professor is always like, oh, like, am I doing okay? Am I not? But that's just like a general student thing, is that anticipation of that email coming back.
One of my biggest problems with life is we're always at some point in that waiting period. Waiting for something. And it's painful. It's brutal.
Yeah. By the way, this is my dad's stance. Yeah, that's Eileen.
Yeah.
I'm so rude. So tell our listeners a little bit about, you are a student right now. Tell us a little bit about where you're a student and what you're studying.
Yeah. Hi. So my name's Eileen. I am a student at Ringling College of Art and Design, Sarasota, Florida. I am studying computer animation, which short term, it's like think Disney, Pixar. It's the people who make your 3D animated movies. We also do like commercials, products, CGI, that kind of stuff.
Rapidly changing industry.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, when she told me that, I was like, oh my gosh, go on. I probably asked you like 1,000 questions. I was so intrigued by it. So, first of all, for those that don't know, Ringling College of Art and Design is very, very famous. So many people have gone to that school. It's very hard to get into. It's an incredible school that teaches so many different things. And like you said, you're in animation. What was it that got you to even apply to go to Ringling? Like, why Ringling?
Um, I get this question so many times because I'm also a student ambassador for the college, and just during open house events or National Portfolio Day,
We came to the right person.
which
Yeah.
almost every single artist knows, like National Portfolio Day and stuff like that. So they always get the question of, oh, why Ringling? Um, Ringling is so good at what they do. They really specialize in 3D. There's not a lot of schools in this country who have as rigorous or as collected as a program as they have, which is one of the big draws. When people come to tour the campus, the place that we always bring them is the animation floor, is because we have poster after poster of really big feature films and movies and shorts that our alumni have worked on.
Oh,
And
great.
so some of the things in that hallway are films like Spider-Verse is on there, probably every single Disney movie you've ever seen in your life. Um, so one of the big draws was I knew the school had a good reputation. If you have that many films that your alumni have worked on, obviously you're doing something right. And I wanted to go somewhere where I knew I would have a possibility of a job, and get those connections after college.
I love that. So you are not from this area. So
No.
you graduated high school and then was like, I'm applying to a school in Florida. Tell our listeners of where you originally from.
Yeah, I'm from South Jersey, um, just like maybe half an hour out of Philly. It's pretty nice. Very different from Florida, though, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, coming from high school though, what did you have exposure with animation then? Yeah, you had to show some credentials, I suppose, during the vetting process.
When I was applying for Ringling, they don't really look for animation in your portfolio. You're not applying animation into your animation portfolio. They look for a strong foundation, in just like figure drawing, light, shadow, color, stuff like that. But in terms of animation experience in high school, I would say that's already very rare across the country. It's probably pretty difficult to find a high school with an animation program. My high school was in the very early stages of developing one. I don't know how they're doing right now. When I went there, it was it was okay. Um, I do wish that more high schools would invest in the arts in that way, aside from just traditional mediums,
Yeah.
because there's just so much more out there for people to be able to do with that kind of stuff.
Did you do outside of school other programs that helped you build a portfolio to be able to apply to Ringling? Like, were you involved as, in school and other outside art schools?
Well, I've always kind of been enrolled in art classes like on and off throughout my life just because my parents noticed I took an interest in it. And just anything that I took an interest in, they were like, all right, you have to go get really good at it. Um, but I would say maybe I not during high school, I would say, besides like maybe like art club, I did do pre-college programs for Ringling. I did those twice. So that definitely helped prepare me for exactly they were looking for. And honestly, if you have the opportunity and you have the financial means to do pre-college programs, not even just for animation or for art, um, but they can be really beneficial on a college resume, especially nowadays when college is getting so much more competitive than it used to be.
What is that? Tell us. So what is that? What does a pre-college program look like? Is that like what does that look like?
Yeah, so a pre-college program, I would say most colleges probably have them. It can go from like a week to maybe like I don't know why my computer is doing that.
Yeah.
Like 1 week to like mine was like a month.
Oh.
So you go to a college and a lot of times you'll live on campus, and just kind of get that experience of what being a student at that school would be like. So
Oh, cool.
you would take kind of like summarized versions of classes to kind of see, all right, like what major do I kind of want to dabble in? So at least at Ringling, I was able to take an immersion, which was like a focus. So my immersions were like I don't know, storyboarding and animation my first year, and then my second year I did it was animation and visual development.
That's so cool. I don't think that was around when I was in school to be able to do that. I think that's such a great idea because it gives you a taste of the culture of the school, of where, in your case, you came down here to Florida for that, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, I flew down both times. I lived in the dorms
At
and
what
I
age? Like in your senior year, or when did you do that?
I did it once when I was a sophomore. Yeah.
At like 15, 16 years old?
I think I was maybe like 15, 16. And then the second year I was like 16, 17.
Oh my gosh, so many questions for you. Okay, so I've got,
How long
wow,
is the program there?
I'm sorry?
the
How
ringing.
long is your program at Ringling?
So mine was a month because that was the only option we had. They recently are putting in a new one where students can come for like 1 week at a time or 2 weeks at a time, or they can do the full 4 weeks.
You
Um,
mean
I mean, now that you're a student there, how long do you stay?
it's like it's 4 years, right? Is it not
yeah,
4 years?
it's 4 years. Yeah.
It's like like a traditional college.
Summers off?
Yeah,
Summer's off.
sort
Yeah.
of. Sort of. We'll talk about
Kind
that.
of.
Um, so many questions. So first of all, when I met you, there's not a chance in the world I would have ever thought you were like in college. You're so well put together, so mature, for your, I don't know how old you are, but imagine college age. And so we're gonna go down two paths. My first question is gonna be, at what age did you start to have this love of art to where you knew you need to lean into it more?
I would say I kind of always liked art. It was always just kind of there, like throughout my life. My parents work in cabinetry as their primary, as well as like a bunch of other things. When I was a kid, I would spend just so much time at their office. And the thing with cabinetry is you have so many just paper instructions everywhere. So I would sit in the back office room and I would just draw on the paper, and eventually I got pretty good at it when I was in elementary school. Like people would be like, "Oh, you're so good at art," like blah blah blah. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess I kind of am." And it's just something that I've always kind of stuck with. But I didn't start getting super serious about it until maybe middle school when I started researching colleges. Um,
In middle school, you were researching colleges?
yeah, because my mom wanted me to go to Princeton. I was like, okay.
Well, and that kind of leads to my next question. How do you have such the courage and bravery at the age of 15 to go and live in another state, on your own? Like, where does that strength and that bravery come from for you?
I've never been like nervous about like leaving my family or like anything like that. I like to think I've always been pretty independent. I just don't, I wasn't scared of it at all. I was like, oh yeah, this will be new and exciting.
Your
Um,
parents did a good job.
yeah, my parents were like, my mom was really worried. She was like, are you sure it's like for a month and it's in Florida? So I think my mom was more worried than I was.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah, yeah, two younger ones. I'm the oldest.
And do they have that same spirit that you do of like, I'm gonna go grab the bull by its horns and just do this?
I'm not sure. I would say my youngest sister, who's the youngest out of all three of us, is maybe a little more hesitant when it comes to certain things. But I feel like I can, as she gets a little bit older, I think she's like, I don't know, whatever eighth grade is. Um,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Um, but I can kind of see her starting to like gain that independence a little more as well. Um, so I think it's just like as you grow up, you kind of like branch out a little more. But I was never really too afraid of it.
Sure, that's incredible. So your mom wants you to go to Princeton. You find Ringling in middle school. You found it, or
Yeah.
okay, and you're like, nope, I'm an artist. I've been told I'm good. I want to go to Ringling. How does that conversation go down when you're like, no to Princeton? I'll be in your backyard. I'm going further away and south. How did that go down?
Yeah. Honestly, the most nervous thing like I was just being in Florida. I personally don't like the atmosphere very much. It's just so different from Jersey when everything's so quick and bustling. And Florida's significantly slower with its pace in life. But that was like my biggest concern. My mom was like, "You're not going to be able to find a job like after college because of the like broke artist stereotype, which is one of the reasons I wanted to learn 3D animation. Um, by that point, I already had felt pretty sufficient in being able to draw traditionally, being able to draw digitally, painting. I feel like I had improved upon my skills enough to the point where I could maybe make a career out of it if I just kept working towards it. But I wanted something else under my belt. I wanted another skill to make me more employable. And that's part of the reason I went into 3D. I was like, I've never done this before. This could be pretty cool. After doing the pre-college program, I decided I did like it enough. And I would be like, yeah, I'm gonna go major in this. I'm gonna learn it. Um, and I will have that skill under my belt. Um, she was not as enthused with the idea, definitely at first. It's like, no matter how much she was like, oh, yes, I support you, you can only support your kid so much when the idea is so risky.
Yeah.
Um, so she wasn't super on board with it. Eventually, I think I kind of talked her more into it once I started showing her like how serious I was about it by kind of like going away, seeing the school. I think the school impressed her because when she started looking into it, she was like, oh, like this is a reputable institution. Like I'm not just sending my kid to Florida.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is your second year, is that right? Yeah, your second year.
Now they say there are no stupid questions, but I have one.
Mhm.
You're stupid
It's not a
people.
very stupid question.
Just kidding, Dad.
Years ago, before all the computerization and the I think having a great artistic, intuitive background, which you have, was a prime ingredient. Today, with all the crazy stuff that's coming, the advancement of AI, could you take someone like me that may have a very creative, no artistic talent, but a very creative mind? Could I succeed working with the computers?
I think you could. It's a lot about, for animation, at least 3D, it's a lot of just analyzing movement and weight. You aren't necessarily drawing anything.
Mhm.
Maybe it might be like kind of hard to model and like make sure things look like artistically good. But I think if you aren't super strong, just like drawing wise, like if I think you could still do really well in animation. Like I feel like I knew some people, I've talked to some people who were like, yeah, I suck at drawing. Like I can't draw like very well at all compared to some of my peers, but they're still doing really, really well
Mhm.
in animation.
Interesting.
Hmm. What so when you said 3D and animation, you're like that could help you get a job. You just said earlier that you're working right now. Are you working, you have a job or you're working on your school projects that you have to complete?
I'm working on my school projects that we have to complete. So we don't have finals. That's not like finals and midterms aren't really a thing because we have two different types of classes. We have our liberal arts and like general educations that is pretty akin to any other college. But then we have our studio classes, and the studio classes take up, I think it's like 2 hours 45 to like 3 hours if the professor decides to run over a little bit.
Oh.
But um, those take up a bulk of our time, and that is really our primary focus.
I think that there's a lot of challenges that college students today are faced with. And one of it is being so far away from home. That's definitely a challenge. But what would you say are like your three biggest challenges in today's world being a college student?
Um, I'd say it's more like environmental factors at this point, like the job market, the housing market. I feel like a lot of college students nowadays feel the need to either pick, at least in the art field, a safer quote unquote career where they go into something like STEM, which even now STEM has become a little bit questionable, um, or pursue their passions in art. And pursuing a passion in art is also not very, it's very financially taxing to go, oftentimes going to an art school without scholarship or federal aid. Sometimes it can probably cost you over 200,000 at the end of your 4 years.
Wow, that is incredible.
Once you graduate, are the main centers for employment in the country like California, New York, Orlando? Where would you normally find yourself in the industry?
In
It really
3D.
depends.
Yeah.
It depends on what you are wanting to do. I know, I mean, there's art everywhere. It's like, even if you don't think about it, it's your packages. Like, I have a pack of Oreos in front of me. Someone had to sit down and design that and make that. I have a friend who goes to Pratt Institute up in Brooklyn. That's what she's doing. And I think it's like product design and stuff like that. Um, a mug that you buy from like Target, someone had to make that.
Yeah.
Your computer mouse, someone probably had to 3D model that and see if it could work. So those are all different kinds of art, and it's just maybe if the question was like maybe more specific, but I feel like there is no one place that we can really go. Maybe for animation, you probably end up at like cities because that's where the most resources are to be able to fund that kind of career are. But otherwise, you can kind of just go anywhere.
What is your hope? Like, what is it that you, now that you're in this, you're in your second year, you're doing 3D animation, what is your dream job to get from this?
Honestly, my dream job is either it's 3D character animation, modeling, or I my true love is just 2D animation. I love 2D so much. But one of the reasons I went for 3D and I wanted that skill was because I was worried that pursuing a career in 2D wouldn't be viable.
Help our listeners understand the biggest difference. Like when you're talking about 2D art, what does that look like versus 3D art?
2D would be sitting down and drawing every frame. So if you think like the biggest example I can think of that would be widely understandable is like think old Disney versus new Disney. Old Disney being Bambi, Lion King, Lilo and Stitch. People had to sit down, draw all of those frames, take photos of those frames, stitch them together. Whereas 3D, once you model something, it's modeled, and then you just rig it, move the parts. Um, to kind of simulate that movement. So one of them is super computer based, the other one is sitting down and just drawing something over and over and over again.
So if they remade Lion King in 3D, would you know the difference of watching a 2D versus a 3D?
Yes, 2D is usually very like cartoon, much more colorful. It's like watching the version of The Lion King, like the first one versus like the one that like the live action remake, which I don't, it's not live action, it's CGI. You didn't get the line to do that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm forming a new industry, great artwork. We used to have something in the house. It was a picture, I think, of New York City in the harbor, and there was a tugboat going across, physically going across the screen, going through the water and stuff. I think art for the home, which would be 3D to hang on the wall, would be fantastic. A picture on your wall, a movable picture. Don't you get it?
I get it, but you had that in the
We
house?
used to have we used to have one years ago, but I'm saying there's nothing, no one doing that today.
You actually had one that
Yeah,
moved?
yeah.
What happened to
I
it?
have no idea. Someone stole it.
I've
But
never seen that piece of
yeah,
art.
how about moving pictures on your wall?
Well, I think it's we were talking about how you create that, and you were explaining to me, and I'm going to totally dumb this down because it just I can't speak to it. But when we met, we were talking about the different 3D animations that are coming out and all the new cartoons. And you were explaining to me, Eileen, that it's like boxes. Everything is little tiny boxes that you draw to make this come to life. Can you help our listeners understand what that looks like and how much time a movie that we would see in 3D would actually take to make?
Because Jamie's not explaining it well.
Yeah, so I actually just went to the reason I don't have classes this week is because after last year's hurricanes, my college built in a week called Workshop Week, which is just you don't have classes in order to, if we do have a hurricane, it's just implemented Hurricane Week basically.
Sure.
Um, but I actually went to a workshop yesterday that was like talking about like development for film and feature film and TV, about animation. And our interim department head was actually talking about it. His name is Paul Downs, really great, super knowledgeable. But he was just talking about just how long the process takes even before you start animating and producing the movie. It could go from like 6 months to 12 months to
Couple of years.
years.
Yeah.
It can go from years before you even have people, before you even approve the projects, before people start sitting down and making it. Sometimes when you start making it, it's just not working and you scrap the entire thing and you start over.
Oh. I
So
don't think
it
people
takes
have a
years.
Yeah, I don't think people have a real appreciation for that. You go watch some of these movies, you're like, oh my God, it's so amazing, but you don't realize all the work that went behind it to make that happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
It
kind of
really
project? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It's really is just like hours upon hours and like years upon years of that, just that like even pre-production. So
So will you start applying for jobs then, similar to what you did in high school applying for college? Will you start this year or next year to start to get in front of different production companies and things to, I guess, would it be a production company or would it be film studios, what would it be that you would try to get in front of?
I would say usually studios will look for juniors and seniors because they have learned most of the pipeline, and they understand kind of more about the programs and like what goes into making a film. We did have a sophomore, she's a junior now, but a sophomore who interned at DreamWorks, I think, over the summer.
Wow.
So it is possible. I don't think I'm going to apply just because I don't exactly know what I want to do yet. Um, and I really like I think this summer I'll be taking like a bunch of like 2D classes just because I really like 2D. Maybe I'll do a focus in like storyboarding and story or something like that, but I'm just not very sure yet.
So
This
cool.
is I'm sure it's a very intense lifestyle at the school. A lot of pressure's on, there's deadlines, new materials. What does Eileen do to reset herself? To kind of do a mind dump, just to get relaxed and reset yourself.
Um, I try not to take too many breaks because I do get a lot of anxiety about falling behind. So I would say just like sleeping, like when I can.
And you had shared that the pressure is pretty intense for your program. Can you help us understand a
Yeah.
little bit about that, about how intense it is for what you're doing?
Yeah, so the way that classes are structured at Ringling is every class is something new, basically. So, at least for animation, you sit there for about around 3 hours ish, and you just listen to the professor and you
Long
watch.
class. Whoa, baby, 3 hour class. Woo.
Yeah,
Just lecture.
it's just lecture and demo, which is just it's short for demonstration.
Mhm.
Um, of the program, how to do certain things. You sit there, you take notes. Later on, professor will start using class as like crit, like a crit class where you get feedback with, I think the class sizes are about like 13. Um, but the crits do take longer than you think for 13 students, is that there's always something going on with like the model or the animation that's just not working. So it's like, all right, this is how you fix it. This is how you correct it. Here's another way of doing it. These are some new tools. And so it's just a lot of new information every class.
Mhm.
How many classes are you taking right now?
Uh, I'm taking less than average because I came in with both credits from the school and credits from AP classes that I had in high school. So I think I get like one class off every semester, which is nice. But I think it's like I think the average amount is like 4 or 5 people take. I think you have to take minimum four to be considered a
Wow,
full-time
that's
student.
intense. That's intense.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I know that Ringling, so your classmates, you said in one class there's like 13 of you. How many are actually from Florida that are going to school there?
In the like in my class or
Yeah.
at the
Or like
school?
in the school, maybe in the school, like what is the breakdown of the school that are actually like I feel like there's a huge international presence on the campus.
Yes.
There is.
Um, I can't say how many students,
Oh,
a decent amount of our students from out of state, especially in the East Coast, because Ringling is like it's a very big name for art, especially in the animation community. So a lot of students come from out of state. I know there's like 3 people from my high school who go there too.
oh wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But I know in my classes, a huge chunk of students are international and they come for like the animation program and stuff like that. So
And what are they coming from certain parts of the world or just all over the place?
they're coming from all over the place. I know that a lot of our students are from like Korea and China. We get a lot of students from like the Southern Hemisphere as well, students from Europe. Um, I know a girl who is here from France.
Wow.
So really just they just come from everywhere. Yeah.
So you could wind up potentially overseas in your career, potentially.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
where would you want to end up? Do you want to head back up north or where would you ideally want to be?
um, Ideally, I would prefer to be up north just because I like that environment significantly more. I wouldn't be opposed to going overseas at all because I know a lot of companies are outsourcing their work now
Mm.
um, for like animation. So I know there's a lot of hotspots in Europe, in Asia. So I really wouldn't be opposed to going overseas now.
Is there, I mean, we lean back into AI. How much of the work has been taken over by AI now that that is so infiltrated into everything that we're doing? How, like
Um,
obviously originally animation was done by hand, and we saw that go from the flip books to now, more computer animation, and now we're getting into people creating their own images of who knows whatever. Mark Zuckerberg sitting on their couch, all this type of stuff. So where do you see the AI coming into play with that? Is it a threat? Is it an advantage?
I feel like it can be an advantage just for maybe faster workflow if you are just looking for ideas. It's like maybe prompts or something. But in terms of like generating images and stuff like that, I you there's not a possibility to generate a 3D movie right now in its entirety while making it look good and having the story make sense. Everything in animation is so intentional. Um, we have an entire class dedicated to just story. I have a professor and he is old Pixar and he is just always going on about like, yes, we did this because of this, or we have the character on this very specific place on the screen because in the next shot there's something else that's in that space on the screen too. Um, there's just so many aspects that are so intentional that AI cannot understand.
Mm.
Um, and I know a lot of companies are starting to lean towards AI. Like I think it was Coca-Cola who got a lot of like hate, or I'm sure there's a better word for it, but for using AI in one of their commercials recently. Um, but it's if you really look at it, like the commercial looks terrible. You
Yeah.
have stuff melting into each other. You have train tracks that don't make sense. The bears are deformed. It's really just it's slop. Um, Nothing is intentional. Nothing has artistry. It's and I know there are some people who call themselves AI artists.
Mhm.
You can never be an AI artist. You can be an AI generator where you sit at your little computer and you type in, generate me an image of a cat roller skating.
Right.
That doesn't make you an artist. The way AI learns is that it takes from what is already existing. So let's say you have a picture of a pumpkin and a red pumpkin. Um, and the AI cannot make a different color pumpkin if it only has those two colors. Someone else has to make it,
Sure.
and that someone else are the people who post their work online. So a lot of the time, because there are no like laws or regulations around this yet, and I would have hoped there would have been by now, but um it's I digress. It's it's just theft. AI is really just theft.
Yeah.
And then you switch things around and you market it as someone else, but it is just theft in the end.
Yeah.
If you were painting or drawing just for relaxation, what's your preference? Landscapes, seascapes, peoplescapes?
Um, Painting or drawing for relaxation. I like nature and animals, I would say. Um, I feel like that's always kind of the best way
Favorite
to go.
favorite
Very
animal? Favorite animal? Bear?
oh no, definitely not bears. I
Oh,
think they're charming, but I don't like bears too much. I like wolves and foxes and any kind of like bird, big bird fan.
do you find time just to draw for fun these days, or is it all your extra time taken towards classes?
Um, I feel as though it's rare for me to kind of have the mental energy to be like, I'm gonna draw for fun. Um, because I guess in my head I have to justify me drawing for fun when I'm like, oh, well, I could be working on my assignment a little more, you know what I mean? If I have this energy, I should just do that.
Yeah. So interesting. Now, when you were dreaming of coming to Ringling and you were applying as a sophomore, and now you've been there for 2 years, is it everything that you expected it to be?
Yeah, I think it is everything I expected it to be. I expected it to be hard, and I expected to work long hours and stay up really late. Um, and I expected it to be fun, and it's all of those things.
So incredible to be able to get to do what you love to do, to be learning from like the masters, like you said, your professors have all been there, and to be connecting with other people from all around the world to get to do. I love it. I think it's so amazing. I think it's so cool. But the pressure you're feeling, I hate that part for you. And I will put my offer out there again. I think I told you when I was there. If you ever want a home cooked meal, you're more than welcome to come over. I will give you a home cooked meal. You let me
You
know.
should talk to your class.
Oh yeah, there we go. I don't think I have time for me. But I think it's really incredible that you are what you've done with your life at such a young age and how you have literally just grabbed the bull by its horns and you've gone after something that you're passionate about. Many adults, well, you are an adult, but maybe many people much older than you can't figure that out. And I just think it's admirable to see what you've done and how you've committed yourself to it. It's so cool.
Yeah, thank you.
So what's next for you?
A little nap.
In terms of what?
Like you're gonna graduate and you're gonna apply to go work at some studios, and then that's the dream, right?
Yeah. Um, I also don't really have a plan if that doesn't go through. If it doesn't, because the way that just it works is if it doesn't happen the first time, you just have to keep trying over and over again. You go get feedback from studios. Oh, like why didn't you like certain aspects of my portfolio? And then you take that and you go and you work on it and you do it again.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger said, you don't want a plan B. You just stick with plan A and take it all the way to the end.
When did he say that?
I read about it yesterday.
All right, I have a random question. So, what do you know about holograms?
Um, I would say I know a decent amount, maybe.
Oh, really? Are they easy to
Yeah.
create, hard to create?
A hologram, like physically,
Yeah.
I feel like most holograms I see are like it's just like a little projector.
Oh,
No,
Mm.
like
okay.
I if I'm walking on the street and I'll see like a hologram, it's usually like they have like a fan going and then they
Yeah.
project an image onto it, but the fan is spinning at a speed that you can't tell it's a fan, but the blades are still spinning, so the light has something to reflect off of. And then you have maybe like a
Weren't they
couple
having some,
projectors.
wasn't someone running concerts of bands who have passed away as hologram concerts?
They do one of Mamma Mia in London.
Yeah. Have
Yeah, I think so.
you seen it?
No. Well, so now you get to for all 4 years study 3D animation, or I know you said you're going to take some classes in 2D. So is your degree in one thing, or is your degree a master degree that covers multiple things?
So, I will be graduating with a BFA in fine arts. That's what my diploma will say, but then under it, it'll be like computer animation. So if I put that on a resume, I have to say BFA in fine arts, like slash computer animation. Um, but I think we like that's across the board, we all kind of get a BFA.
Out of curiosity, what do you do in the summer when you're off? Totally off.
Totally off. I draw, I animate 2D traditionally. Sometimes I'll paint, but yeah, sometimes I'll like go out and do something. For most of the part, it's just drawing.
What's your favorite genre right now when it comes to 3D animation?
Um, what did he say yesterday? I'm trying to remember. Because animation, it can just do so many things. Animation isn't a genre, it's a medium. Animation can do horror, it can do action, it can do comedy. So it's really no different than if you wrote for a certain genre. Writing is the medium,
Mhm.
but the genre could be horror or comedy or romance or something.
All right. What do you like the most animating for?
Um, I would say I don't really have the only thing I don't like is comedy. I really don't. It just never lands with me. I never find it funny. It's just not funny to me. I don't like comedy. But my favorite, like visually, my favorite kind of animation right now is what people are doing with movies like Mitchell's versus the Machines,
Oh yeah.
Spider-Verse. What was the last one? Puss in Boots, where studios are kind of expanding and pushing how 3D looks, and they're kind of going away from like the style that we had when we first made movies like Toy Story. Um, like things can look more painterly, things can look more watercolor. We're starting to push how that looks now. And I think that's always my favorite kind is when you blend 2D and 3D capabilities.
It's so incredible. I have a whole, after meeting you, I have a whole newfound respect for when I'm watching a movie with my daughter. I don't even think about the movie or even like a cartoon that she's watching or anything. I'm always like, wow, the work that had to go into this just to create this for her to sit on the couch after school and laugh. I mean, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable. It's amazing. And it's students and artists like you that are creating that. So thank you for doing that and creating those incredible, joyous moments that my daughter gets for 30 minutes that may have taken 3 years to create. It's like when you bake a cake and you put all this work into it and then people just eat it in 2 seconds. It's like done, right? But I just think that is so amazing what you get to do every day and how you show up in this world. I'm by far impressed with just who you are as a human and as an artist. So you're incredible.
Yeah, thank you. I honestly still get that feeling of like awe when I watch a film. Like my story professor, he worked on Cars.
Oh,
And
really?
Cars was, yes, that was the Cars 1 intro is up there on one of my favorite intros in probably any movie ever. I just love the Cars 1 intro so much. And it's so cool, like knowing that a movie I've watched religiously since I was a kid, one of the people who helped make that happen is standing there in my classroom telling me what to do
Sure.
now.
Oh, how inspirational. My last question, how many animators typically work? I mean, you say your professor was one of them. How many animators are typically working on a film like that?
Do you ever see credits after a movie?
I
It's like
don't,
4 pages.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying, but like how many are there, or just that?
it it can just be so many. It really depends on like sometimes like the size of the film, how ambitious the film is, how many people are needed from each department. Um, just a good gist is I always sit through the end credits of a movie, um, especially now because it's like, okay, do I know any alumni who graduated who worked on this? Did any of my professors work on this? So I think I always sit through the end credits and I just look at all the names now.
As you survey the potential employment once you graduate, how many companies are there across the country approximately that film people would employ?
Um, I would say probably everyone needs 3D animation, not just studios. When you think of companies like bigger companies like I don't know, like Google, Microsoft, it's any brand selling anything, soda
I
brands
got
like
you. So
coffee, makeup brands, who's making the commercials,
so
who's
it's all
modeling your
mainstream.
packages.
You can go anywhere, absolutely.
Jazzy
Yeah.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Well, if there's ever anyone I'm connected with, I think we're connected on LinkedIn, but if we're not, let's do that. If there's anyone, I have a very diverse background of people I'm connected with. So if you ever need to be connected with somebody or you need help getting a job somewhere or just want to be introduced, please do not hesitate to let me know. I am happy to be a master connector and would love to do that for
And
you.
I still say, as a side hustle, moving wall art. You heard it here, Eileen.
I'll take it into consideration.
Don't spend too much time thinking about that. Eileen, thank you so much for being our guest and being here. I'm going to end with this last question for you. What advice would you give to your younger self about life?
Um, just pick a goal and start working towards it, and there's going to be a lot of stuff that's really going to suck in between, and it's going to be hard, and you might doubt yourself, but you just gotta keep working towards that one goal.
Stick with plan A.
I love it. I think you need to get
Yeah.
yourself a pair of sunglasses because your future is bright, my friend. So get some good
Yeah.
shades. We're so grateful you took time to talk with us. Thank you. Good luck.
We wish you a
Enjoy
great,
this week off.
have a great academic season.
Yes, enjoy this
Yeah.
week off. Let me know if you ever want a home cooked meal. You know where to find me. I'm so grateful we're connected now, and I'm wishing you nothing but success as you journey into the next dimension of your career.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Nice to
Eileen.
meet you. Pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow, right?
I'm getting into my artistic mode.
She's so cool. Like just we had gotten into this much deeper conversation when we were together talking about just how it takes to draw it, what it looks like, and the pressure of being in college. There's a
Oh,
lot of
well,
pressure.
and she has no outlet for relaxation. She's constantly sleeping or drawing, and you can snap after a while. She's an intense young lady.
I hope she doesn't, but she's just so like on it. Like she just knows what she wants. She's going after it. And I just think that's what the cool thing about this is that everybody has a story. I sat there in that waiting room and I would have never known who she was or what she did if I didn't start talking with her. And I forgot we started talking about. I started
Did
talking
she
about.
ask you about you?
Yeah, I think we talked about what I did. I don't know. I don't really remember what I talk about myself. I always remember what someone else
Oh,
tells
so
me.
when you're in the moment, when it passes, you forgot the moment that was just there because you're in a new moment.
Are you still talking? Look at your sunglasses thing is in the shape of a heart. Isn't that cool?
Mhm.
Squirrel moment. Listener, we hope that you enjoyed Eileen as much as we did as well. We look forward to hearing some more of your stories. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. Thank
Moving
you.
wall art. Check it out.
Oh my goodness. Until next time, that's her story. We appreciate all of you. Thanks.
Hey, thank you for tuning into today's What's Your Story podcast.
To learn more or share your story, go to jamiemarco.com. That's www.jamiemarco.com. And we will see you next time.